Hi, this is Sherry Veronica, and with me in studio today is Victor Callender, and he knows how I feel about what Fred Corbin said, and he wanted to give his opinion as to what Fred Corbin said and his challenge to the Attorney General in Barbados, Dale Marshall. Victor, welcome into the studio.
Yes, yes, Sherry. Thank you for coming on board, being allowing me to come on board. Yes, I actually, I actually understand why Fred Corbin said what he said. I just don't think that the government of Barbados, for all intents and purposes, had Fred Corbin not been Fred Corbin, had he not been in Fred Corbin's skin, had he been not in the 5% population in Barbados that evolved from the plantocracy, that he would have been able to say to the Attorney General of Barbados what he said. What he said was not, in my estimation, totally wrong. The challenge about what's going on in Barbados from the standpoint of the role of the office of the Attorney General, I don't think that he was in measure wrong. I think that had Frank Bongalite Chase said what Fred Corbin said, that the Barbados police establishment would have been at his residence post haste, picking him up, and he would have been in Dodds.
Okay.
So I need for me, if somebody would have asked my opinion relative to the two-tier justice system in Barbados, it better affords Mr. Corbin the opportunity to be outspoken and to have said what he said, which probably was seditious language used against the government of Barbados and the Attorney General of Barbados. Had it been said by one of the members of the 95 percentile, the working class 95 percentile black people in Barbados, the situation, in my opinion, would have been adverse for them.
Right.
But I am yet to find that it will be adverse for Mr. Corbin, because basically he said the same thing that South African whites say every single day in what is supposed to be an apartheid-free South Africa, which we know it's not. And he faces no challenges at all saying what he said. So I'm trying to measure how could that be judicial or even right, Sherry Veronica.
Well, I found a lot of fault in what he said, and I feel as though I don't know if Barbados has a Barbados Bureau of Investigation, like how we have the FBI and other people have investigative um, apparatuses within their policing system. I don't know if Barbados has one, but I think that what he said, those words and the challenge to Dale Marshall, and saying that if Dale Marshall takes him up on the duel, that he will win. He will win. And, I think that Fred Corbin should have been pulled in, and I think he should have been arrested. I feel as though he should have been arrested for what he said and his pompous way of behaving online. And they talk about the Computer Misuse Act. They talk about that all the time, but it seems to only be for the majority minority, the majority 95% minority in their own country. It doesn't seem to be for the minority majority, if you understand what I'm saying.
Well, the fact that he could incite a war of some sort is tantamount to saying also not only to the Attorney General of Barbados, who is the chief law enforcement officer in Barbados, but to the 95% Barbadian population of black people in Barbados, is saying that the 5% in Barbados, that they possess the mechanism, the weaponry to ward off anything that the 95% may ever want to do with regard to their rights. That the only rights that really happen to be important in Barbados is the rights to people who look like Fred Corbin, but not like the 95%ers. So his message has all kinds of subliminal types of things in there that, in my opinion, I mean, he could be upset with the government, because we all are upset with the government at some point in time or another, but to incite usage of war, to wage a war against the government, which is waging a war essentially against the people, that should be something that the government takes.
But it's not really a war where someone tells you they're gonna win. They're telling you they're gonna run over you. They're gonna run you over and take over. It's more like a threat that you're gonna lose and we're gonna take over. We're gonna be running things, which they are as it is. But that's even worse than at least a war. People are fighting on two different ends of the battlefield. But he stated clearly that he will win. He cannot lose. He cannot lose.
He basically said what the 5% of Barbadians that look like him feel about the 95% of the people. So basically, the challenge was to the little black guy who is the Attorney General in Barbados: how dare you talk to me, a white Barbadian, a person inherited and invested in the 5% population of what was a bygone plantocracy system. How dare you challenge me? And again, it speaks to what's perceived power and what's real power. And in my opinion, my perception as a black man living in a minority situation, as you just put it, aptly put it, it sends all kinds of messages out there that maybe people need to look at. Barbadians shouldn't walk around the country feeling like everything is okay, because it's not okay. Because, like I said, had Frank Bongalites made that statement, if he had offered sedition, he would have been arrested post-haste. No ifs, ands, and buts about that. Had, what's his name? King made that statement. He would have been arrested. They wouldn't have been chasing him down. They would have found him, arrested him. He would have been in dogs, facing the prospects of not having bail, because that's sedition. The remarks were seditious. And for this man to have made those remarks, and he felt free in telling, you know where I am, Negro. You know where I am. That's what it says to me. That's not about free speech. There's nothing free about that, because freedom, Fred Corbin, freedom isn't free. So you operate in a country with a system of government, whether or not you agree to it or not. Take them to the ballot and win, or run yourself for political office and change things. But to try to change them by offering seditious behavior, Fred Corbin, you're a total knucklehead as far as I'm concerned. That's what I think about you, Fred Corbin. That you're a knucklehead on this issue. You're a damn idiot, a horse's ass on this issue.
I agree. So is there anything else you want to say? Because I'm bringing it home, or you should bring it home. Just close it out.
So what I feel is that we as Barbadians, we have the right to disagree with Mia Motley or Dale Marshall or Santia Bradshaw. What we don't have the right to do is to slander people and to offer up seditious acts against a sitting government, duly elected sitting government. We don't have those rights.
So let me ask you, do you think he should be arrested? Do you think he should be arrested for what he said?
I think he should. I think he should be brought in and talked to.
Okay.
I think somebody in Barbados needs to have enough intestinal and testicular fortitude, as in the case of Dale Marshall, to bring him in and talk to him. Yes, he lives in Barbados. He's a Barbadian citizen, and though he has the right to be a part of the democratic process or benefits from it, and I would venture to say that a person like Fred benefits more from the democratic process than does a dark-skinned, nappy-haired black Barbadian. Yes, I went there with the race issue. Yes, I did go there. So the fact that he benefits from it more, he should know more how to use the language of regular right-thinking Barbadians to protect Barbadian citizenry rather than to take away from it. That's what I think.
Okay, I agree. I agree. Thank you so very much for coming in today, Victor.
Very welcome.
Until next time, this is Sherry Veronica, Naked Departure Radio.